Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So, as an enterprise business leader of YAS, one fun part of my job is an opportunity that I get to sit down for meetings with a lot of leaders from government and from enterprises, being large, small, medium, all of them to discuss so many things. Some of the things we discuss are particularly how YAS, as a company and a partner and ally to their company, can sit down and work together and be partners, co-create, and take some of their operations forward and digitally. But the bigger part of these conversations are actually something that you, as a business leader, as an SME and a startup, can learn a lot from their personal and professional stories, but most important, from their experience and knowledge. But I can record these meetings, right? So yes, I sat down with our marketing team and we agreed that we'll do something for you. We'll be having the YAS Generation Talk, the Generation YAS Talk, but the corporate edition, where I'll be calling these people, sit down with them, talk to them, and have so many things that you guys can learn from. That would be good, right? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Generation YAS Talk, the corporate edition. So hi, ladies and gentlemen, all members and individuals of Generation YAS. Again, welcome to our Generation YAS Talk, the corporate version of the podcast. Today, I'm very excited and actually very, very honored and happy to host the person that we have today. I will try my best to do his bio a justice because he has a lot of things that I can speak about. And if I miss any, I'll later ask him to add to it. So this person today, for me, he is a teacher, a planner, and a policymaker. From school point of view, I believe he did accountant and police practice, and policy development and practice, but in terms of experience, he is a lot, because for himself, he defined that as intellectual curiosity. And we'll hear a little bit about it from him. He is a policymaker, as I've mentioned. He's a leader. He has been a CEO and a board member of so many different organizations, the like of Trademark East Africa, I believe. There was Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, and now serving as an ambassador to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Corporation. Also, the Director for International Trade and Economic Diplomacy. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador John Ulanga.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Yeah, so Ambassador, thank you so much for being here with us, to have a little bit of your time talking to Generation YAS. I'll have to admit one thing. First of all, thank you on behalf of everyone, because we know how busy you are. And it was a short notice, but we're happy that you're here. But the second thing I have to admit was, for me and my team, it was very difficult for us to get a topic, because we know that you are very passionate about so many things and you're expert of so many things. So we have landed today on a few things I hope people can learn from. I know how much you are a patriot to this country and to this economy, and I know how much you are an economist by experience. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Tanzanian Dira 2050 and how that will mean to the businesses, to the business owners and the leaders. And I told you off script that I am a member of CEO Apprenticeship Program Cohort 6, and I was blessed to be in the presence of audience, so I delivered a keynote speech and we spoke about a few things there, and I was inspired. I was like, this is something that I want our audience to find about, and we'll get a lot deeper into that. But to start with, maybe we get to know who are you as Ambassador John Ulanga, like the person behind all the things. So welcome.
Thank you, Norman. So I think you've pretty much said a lot about me. But if I'm to sit back and think about your question, who am I? I am someone who is ambitious. I always like to aim high. I'm someone who is optimistic, always looking at the positive side of everything, even when there are challenges. I am someone who likes to carry others, likes to support others to grow. I am someone, of course, my background, as they've touched on, I studied accounting, but at the University of Dar es Salaam. And then I also went to do postgraduate studies on development policies and practice. But my since childhood, and I did my primary schools here in Dar es Salaam. I started standard 1 to 3 in Changombe Primary School, just near the national stadium, and then I went to Gerezani Primary School, somewhere just opposite what is now called the JK Sports Park. That used to be our playground. And then, but I finished my standard primary school at Muhimbili Primary School. And then went to Tanzania Secondary School, went to Mazengo Secondary School, went to National Service at Ruvu National Service Camp, and then went to university. But my belief throughout is aim so high. Yeah. My belief throughout is I was and still is don't be discouraged by challenges. My belief throughout is you succeed more if you allow and support others to succeed.
Interesting.
Basically, that's the behavior.
And maybe, Ambassador, you might have touched a little bit to it, but I know you've taken so many roles. It's private and the government as well. What was specifically your why to take all these huge responsibilities?
First, I believe if you're called to serve, don't say no.
Okay.
So I always say yes. But I also believe as an individual, stretch yourself to test the limits of your capacity. Many individuals like to play in the comfort zone. There's no success in the comfort zone. If you want to know how good you can be at anything, go that extra mile. You see, so yes. As a result, I've pretty much done quite a bit. As I've said, in terms of full-time jobs, actually my very first job I did was immediately after I finished my A-levels. We had a gap year because of some issues, which is another story. But we had a gap year, many of us. Fortunately, during that gap year, I got a job, like a temporary job, in a German company. And I remember my title was a general worker. Now, who was a general worker? A general worker is somebody who will be sent to do anything that nobody else could do. Go and buy coffee for the office, go make photocopies, go buy stationery. But in my extra time, that's when I started learning how to use a computer. In about 3 months of my position as a general worker, I was the one that everyone in the office will call if they have a problem with their computers. Because I learned so much. You see, remember you talked about intellectual curiosity. I was so curious to learn everything about computers. In about 3 months, in that office you had 2 secretaries, and the German company had their own way of naming this position. So one was first secretary, another was second secretary. The second secretary was doing a lot more around accounting, etc. Now the first secretary got a job at the World Bank. The second secretary was promoted. I then was given that position of the second secretary. And because I'm a man, I couldn't be called the secretary. I was called second administrator. But that 1 year, I learned everything about the basics of accounting, office administration, etc. You see, and I was somebody who could go and do over and above what they're asked to do. You see, such that when I went to university, I pretty much knew everything about work environment. By the time, cutting a long story short, by the time I finished university, my boss then called and say, I know you're finishing university, I know you can get a better job, but I really want you back here. So I went back, and my first title after university was the finance and administration manager. You see, and I remember 2-3 months after my first job, and my boss, by then I think it was called Mobitel. Before now you're here. Yes, I got my first line of Mobitel. You see, by that time when you recharge, actually, you recharge using equivalent of dollars.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So you used to say, my phone doesn't have dollars because you have it. And then you pay when you call, you pay when you receive. You see, that's like close to 30 years ago. Close to 30 years ago. That's fun.
Nice.
So I'm somebody who says anything and everything is possible. One of the statements that define my journey is nothing is impossible under the sun. So yes, I've done that with German company. I also did a stint with the government of Tanzania. Now that's long ago. And then I went to work for Economic and Social Research Foundation. When I joined the Economic and Social Research Foundation, I joined as an assistant accountant because my background is accounting. But within the first 2 years, I was not only doing accounting, I was doing everything, supporting everybody else in preparing project proposals, in analyzing this, in preparing project plans, etc. So after 2 years, the foundation, I mean Economic and Social Research Foundation, created a new department, which is like equivalent, you might call it a consultancy department, that is coordinating all consultancy assignments that are done by that organization. That was a new department. And they were thinking of hiring a senior consultant to head the department. But then the executive director, Professor Samuel Wangwe, who was the executive director then, said, "But why don't we test this young man?" So I got probably the highest promotion nobody has ever gotten at Economic and Social Research Foundation, to be the head of a department. Post my undergraduate, it was like 3 years since, maybe 3 years, going to 4 years since I finished my university. So I was the least experienced, the youngest. All my peers in the management were probably 10, 15 years older than me. Most of them were PhDs. And the brief that I got then was anybody within the organization, even the executive director, once they are doing or undertaking consultants assignments, they'll be reporting to me. So all of a sudden, I was managing a portfolio where the executive director will be reporting to me and the fellow heads of departments, as long as they are doing consultancy. That was a test of leadership and what you are able to do in a place where you are managing or engaging with people who are much more experienced, much more educated, much more exposed than you. But you have to provide, you see. But then I started seeing, and I think if there's one organization that really expanded my breadth of thinking and also exposed me to a lot of intellectual curiosity challenges, was Economic and Social Research Foundation, you see. And then I later joined Foundation for Civil Society. That is my first position as a CEO of an organization. And so I stayed with Economic and Social Research Foundation for about 7.5 years. But in my last 5 years, if anybody would ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I usually would say, I think I see myself as a CEO of an organization.
Wow.
Not even knowing which organization. But what does it do to somebody when you have a dream of your future? It starts to create a different mindset, because once you have a bit of clarity of where your future is, you start behaving differently. You start, somebody with vision or ambition has energy, you see, because your ambition inspires you. You see, people are looking for inspiration from other people. No, your first source of inspiration is your own ambition. You have to be ambitious. Once you have ambition, you have hopes for a better future. And then you have energy to work extra hard. So yes, about 5 years later, I'm getting a call. Are you John Ulanga? Yes. We have this organization. First, they were looking for a board member. That was my first board position. Actually, I said, okay. They interviewed me. I joined as the board, only to realize that the executive director had passed on a couple of months ago before I joined. So they were looking for someone else. I never knew they could also think of me. So later they said, we think you could do it. And I was like, who, me?
Yeah.
Because there's always self-doubt, to be honest. You feel like, okay, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, you see. But then they interviewed me, and then I was given the position almost 5 years from when I was actually saying, I think I'm going to be the CEO for the organization. You see. So yes, I did that. But that also exposed me then as challenges of leading an organization, and growing an organization, growing a team. And then I started then joining other boards. I think during that time I also became now the chair of the East African Association of Grant Makers, similar institutions like ours within the 3 East African countries. Then I started then practicing my leadership at regional level. And then after 9 years, I told my board, I said, I think I've done enough. And they were shocked. The board was shocked. My family was shocked. I said, I think after 9 years, because I had 3-year contracts. So when I was finishing my 3rd contract, a year before the contract ended, I went to my board chair and say, I think after the end of this contract, I would request you look for someone else, and somebody who believes in passing the batons to someone else. So I've done my part. I think I've put all my creativity. It's now time for someone else. And everybody's like, you are crazy. I say, it's not about me, it's about the organization. I think it's important for the organization to get someone else. And I wanted a completely different experience. So even when I was thinking of what my next job could be, I said, I don't want a job in the civil society sector. I've supported civil society organizations. I've acted almost at the apex in terms of an organization that was really supporting at any time. I was supporting like 1,000 other organizations through giving them grants and building capacity. And I think I want to step out. So I got a job with an oil and gas company. It used to be called BG from the UK. Used to be in Tanzania, it was BG East Africa. And I got a job as a vice president for policy and corporate affairs. I wanted something completely different, experience from so I wanted private sector. So I did that. And it was, oil and gas, completely new set of jargons, completely different way of thinking. But those are the type of challenges that keep me awake. You're learning something new every day. And then after a year, because when I joined, I said, I'm going to do this for 1 year. And then after 1 year, I'm going to decide on whether I want to continue or on different jobs. Fortunately or unfortunately, during that 1 year, there was also transition from BG to Shell. The company was taken over or was bought by Shell. So after 1 year during that transition, I said, I think I've had experience. I went to my boss. I said, it's time for me. I think I gave my notice exactly a year after I joined. I said, I'm serving my notice. I'm leaving. I got a job with an organization called Trademark. But then it was called Trademark East Africa. Now it's Trademark Africa. So I joined as the country director for Tanzania for 5 years, and then later regional director for Eastern Central Africa. So in total, I did that for 7 years. But during that time, I also expanded my roles in corporate governance. So I joined quite a number of boards. Actually, even when I was at the Foundation for Civil Society, that's also another story, I briefly joined the board of Tanzania Ports Authority for about a year. But then I also joined a few other boards, but later I joined, for example, the board of Mwananchi Communications, the newspaper company. I actually joined Mwananchi Communication while still at the Foundation for Civil Society. And then I later joined the board of KCB Bank. I joined as a member, and then I later became the chair of the board for 5 years. I actually finished my term last year. The year that I joined, I became the chair of the board for KCB Bank. I also became the chair of the board for for Serengeti breweries. I also not only became the chair for Serengeti breweries in Tanzania, I also became a member of the board of East African Breweries, which is the parent company for Serengeti breweries. Actually, but if I'm to go back, there are many of these, so apologies, I'll be going back and forth. In 2013, actually in 2012, I was approached to be the chair of a university council for Kairuki University, or by then it used to be called Hubert Kairuki Memorial University. And I remember I said, I don't think I am ready. So I said, give me 6 months, hoping and thinking that
someone else.
Then they'll get it. In 6 months, they didn't come back to me. They just wrote me a letter to appoint me as the chair.
Interesting.
In exactly 6 months, they came to me and appointed. So I did the mandatory limit is 2 terms of 6 years. So I actually finished my tenure this year, from 2013 to 2025. For me, I think that was the first major responsibility as a chair of a very solid organization, an academic organization. Now look at, and I think if I'm to mention all the boards I've sat in, we will spend the whole hour. But just to give you, this is just to give you a flavor. So I'm sitting in a media house board. And I remember in the media house, in the board of Mwananchi Communication, I sat in what is called the editorial board committee, which is the heart of the organization, because media is editorial. And by then, when I joined, the chair of the editorial board committee was Professor Palamagamba Kabudi. And every session with Professor Kabudi, I'll tell you, you learn something new. Every session. So when he left the board, I was actually given the responsibility to chair the editorial board committee. No background in editorial, but you're given that responsibility. It means you have to stretch your mind to do what you do. And then, of course, when I joined now university, Kairuki University. Kairuki University is, simply put, a medical university.
Correct.
You see. So the terminologies and the people that you're engaging with are all from the medical background, and you're the chair of the council. You're supposed to engage with those things. You see. And then I went to when I joined KCB Bank, and I remember before becoming the chair, I was actually the chair of the credit committee. You see, approving the final approval for loans, etc., etc. So you have to stretch yourself and act like a banker. And then I became the chair. You now have to really be a proper banker. And then I went to join Serengeti Breweries. They produce and sell booze. And the terminologies are completely different, you see. And sometimes you move from this board to another board, in maybe the same day. So it means you have the reason I'm also saying Economic and Social Research Foundation really gave me the space to stretch my mind is in consultancy, the department I was leading, we are reading something to do with policy analysis on agriculture. And then next morning it's coming something on health. And then the following day it's coming something to do with education. So it means you're trained to, and at some point actually, I was the head of department. At some point I actually resigned from being the head of department, not from the organization, but from being the head of department, because I wanted to go and lead a particular project that we're doing on public service reforms. And in this project of installation of what was called installation of performance management systems, I was in charge of that project in 11 government ministries. And these are called 11 lead ministries: finance, health, education, agriculture, Ministry of Planning and Privatization, Ministry of Public Service, Ministry of Water, the Judiciary, etc. So now, every time you go to a ministry, you have to facilitate strategic plans, action plans. It means that if I'm in the Ministry of Health, I have to understand issues related to health so that I can facilitate their planning process. When I go to Ministry of Education, I have to forget everything I learned in health. Now I'm in education. And then you go to meet the learned fellows in judiciary. To be like one, it was fun. You see, it was fun. You see. So I pretty much have done quite a bit. When I left Trademark, that's when I joined Tanzania Private Sector Foundation. But my stint was brief. In less than 2 months, I got appointed to the current position. I got the honor to be appointed by the president for the first time, actually. I got a presidential appointment to join the government service as an ambassador and director, as you've said, responsible for simply put, you're saying economic diplomacy, but issues of international trade, investment, tourism promotion, overall resource mobilization. That nexus between the roles that diplomats are playing in advancing the political objectives of the country and the economic interests we have as a country, to ensure that the now diplomats or foreign service is actually acting to advance the economic interests of the country. So they are acting like our engines of economic interest promotion in those countries. Trust me, Norman, we can. I've given just a glimpse. I only reach my age, and if you work hard, then you have a lot to tell.
And thank you so much, Ambassador. This is very good. Now, I'm picking a lot of things from this story, and we have a lot of young leaders, business owners, startup owners as well, learning from this as well. Now, one thing that I've picked from this story is the ability to be flexible, the ability to understand what are the points for you to take the next steps and growth, but most important, the ability for you to learn more and be able to be the student of every aspect of life. Now, how important is having your own personal goals for you to know, plan better and know the next step? How important is it for you to have a long-term plan? As we will soon dive to the importance of the country to have that as well.
They say, and I believe this so much. If you fail to plan, you're actually planning to fail. No doubt about it. For an individual and for a leader, I usually say your role revolves around 3 things. One, you have to have vision, your dreams for the future, your vision for the future. When I meet a young person, almost without fail, I always ask them, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Almost. Every time I meet a young person, that's the question I ask them. Where do you see yourself? Also because I think in my early, probably when I was 10, I have, by the way, I'm a twin. I have a twin with engineer Peter Ulanga. But I remember when we were in that age, one of our father's friends visited our house, and it was challenging, small kids, and told us something very profound that I'll never ever forget. He said, a bad soldier is the one who does not aspire to become a general.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad soldier. Yeah. So, you know, the highest rank in the army is a general.
Yeah.
So once you join the army, but just when been recruited, you have to have an ambition of becoming that general. You know, you see. So a bad soldier is the one who does not have this ambition. Now, doesn't mean that everyone with those ambitions is going to become the general. But surely, probably, even if they fail, they'll probably end up being the colonel or something like that. You see also. But what does it mean? That you always have to have a vision that is so ambitious. You're saying aim so high such that your failure becomes your success. It means if I'm aiming to reach that roof, even if I don't reach it, but where I will reach is probably much higher than somebody who doesn't have an aim to get anywhere, you see. So always it's important. Number one is to have vision. Personal vision, company vision, country vision. Number two, direction. Once you have a vision, there has to be direction. You have to be able now to say, if this is where I want to go, which is the shortest path, or which is the easiest path, or what are my options
to get there?
To get there, you see. But once you have to know the destination, your vision is like your destination. They say if you don't know where you're going, any road can take you there. So number two is direction. It's very important for everyone now to clearly design your pathways to getting to where you want to go. Now, is it always the directions or your pathways can always change? If you are driving from the YAS offices here and you want to go to, let's say, to the international airport, international airport, you might follow this route and there's a traffic jam, you might change, but because you know where your destination is, these are tactical decisions on the way that you make. And then the third, and is very important, is hope. You have to have, because the road towards you reaching your vision is full of trials and tribulations and challenges, etc. So, as you have to be someone who gives hope to yourself and gives hope to people around you. But tomorrow is gonna be better than today.
Nice. So that's from a personal level. Now for a country. July this year, the government launched the Tanzania Development Vision 2050, the Tanzania we envisioned. Now, how is it important? I know it's important at a personal level. I believe it's even more important for a country. Like how is it?
A lot more important for a country, because for a country, and even before we go to the level of a country, even for a company, you design corporate strategy.
Correct.
Corporate strategy clearly defines where you want to be by when. A national vision document defines where we want to go and to be as a country by when. Now, why is it important? If you know, a country is a consolidation of individuals, of entities, companies, of associations, of all the smaller entities are put together in a country. Now, a national vision provides a common direction to all of us. And that's why a national vision process, for example, this one was very consultative process. Because by the time now you say, this is our national vision, it means it is a document that defines the common destination that we all know, this is where we want to go. Now, once we agree that this is where we want to go, and this is where we want to be by when, then you go backward and say, what does it take? What is my role as an individual? What is our role as a company? What is our contribution? You see, because of course, much as it is spearheaded by the government, but this is a collective effort and collective responsibility for every individual within the country, both nationals and even international partners who are partners and friends to the country. They know, okay, this is where Tanzania wants to be. So it's extremely important because also it sets that ambition. It sets a stretch goal. This is where we want to be. So we are all gathering energy and we're putting together our efforts and challenging ourselves that this is where we want to be.
Now, for someone who hasn't heard anything about it, what are these ambitions? What are the key areas where we want to be as a country?
At an individual, so it depends on who I am talking to. If I am talking to an individual, I'll tell them simply, but by the year 2050, we want the average income of a Tanzanian to be equivalent of at least $7,000 a month. I mean, a year. Now, this is a jump from where we are currently, where our average income for a Tanzanian is about 1,200 and something. So it means that is a six-fold increase. So it means your pockets will have a lot more resources, simply put. You see. But if I'm talking to an economist, I'll say what we want to become a high middle-income country. Now we are already a middle income, but we are lower middle income. We do not want to become a middle income, we want to become high middle income country. Again, if I'm talking to an economist who is interested in numbers, I'm saying we want to have a GDP, a total GDP. If you take the values of all the products that we are producing in a country per year, that we want the value of that to become at least $1 trillion. Now, why is this significant? Currently, we are at around $86 billion. To reach to $1 trillion, it means we want to increase that by around 12-fold. That is significant, you see. If I'm talking to industrialists, to private sector, besides all that I've said, I also tell them we want to increase the contribution of manufacturing sector. Now, currently, manufacturing sector contributes probably around 10% to our economy, because we want to be an industrial based company, or in a manufacturing based company. We would want to see up to around 25 to 30% of our GDP, of the total value of the products are coming from manufacturing sector and many other factors. So it is ambitious, but doable.
I've heard you say that many times. This is ambitious, but very, very doable. What makes you say that?
If you do the analysis, 2025 is a year where our current vision is ending. Vision 2025. I'll tell you, when I joined Economic and Social Research Foundation, that was the time that the Economic and Social Research Foundation was one of the organizations that was supporting the Secretariat for forming the Vision 2025. So I was privy to the contents of the Vision 2025, from also the research and the intellectual perspective. Now, if you do a 25-year analysis from the year 2000 to year 2025, we actually have seen, for example, GDP per capita in the year 2000 was around $312. Now it is 1,200 and something. It means we have seen 4 times increases. If you look at our if you look at, so that's the GDP per capita. We have seen that increase. The total GDP in 2000, I might not remember the exact figure, but must have been in the range of maybe 12 to 13 billion dollars. You see, we already have seen like 6 to 7-fold increase. So it's possible. Actually, sometimes when I decide to challenge myself, as I've told you, I'm a very optimistic and a very ambitious guy. I believe with all what we have in terms of resources, the skills for our young people, the technological advancement, we can actually achieve more than just 1 trillion. We can actually achieve 1.5 to 2 trillion. But we need to be in an overdrive mode consistently for the next 25 years. And for me, I say, if we don't make it as a country for the next 20